With 27 days to the election, the president sees tweets, his staff sees tweets, and the purple power has ramped up like you've never seen before. Thousands and thousands of tweets per hour telling the president to do executive order. After a call to end negotiations, the president backtracks and suddenly decides to do something other than that. Is this the result of the purple power? And could you be getting your second stimulus? This is 28. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is day 2 of 28. 28 days, the president's going to the polls and Joe Biden going to the polls. Our new series here every morning on Mornings LALATE that details the 28 days to the election. It's now 27. Go to the Fronts channel, subscribe. Subscribe because this is the best channel there is out there with 4 hours of programming every day to cover you updates about your second stimulus. Also like this video. In today's video, I'll be going over the 27 days now before the election and how the economy has twisted and changed so much amid the face of a series of strange tweets last night and what you should take from them and how you should interpret new tweets coming in the next coming days and the reaction to them. I'll be going over that, Wall Street's reaction, analysts' reaction, and your reaction and more. Also, I'll be answering some of your incredible questions from yesterday's video. All right, let me get to the breaking details. The breaking details is that the president has not been much of a legislative president since day one. He's not been a president who has drafted laws. Certainly it's not his duty as president, but he's also not taken an upper hand in making sure as the leader of the Republican Party that bills are drafted. Remember the HEALS Act drafted by Mitch was not drafted by the president, and ultimately it was rejected by the president. The next small bill by Mitch was also rejected by the president. So this president has never taken a very good stance on writing bills. When the Problem Solvers bill was introduced 2 weeks ago, the president says, I supported the bill. This was categorically incredible. But what you have to understand is the Problem Solvers proposal was not a bill. It had never been introduced and has never been introduced to the Senate or House floor. And so the Problem Solvers today and yesterday continue to call for more talks and talks and talks. My reaction is, Problem Solvers, stop talking. How about you introduce your own bill to the floor? Introduce it to the Senate or the House floor. Let's get it going. The president supports it, introduce it, and ramp up the pressure. Ultimately, talk is not getting pressure working anywhere, but the purple power is. Yesterday, the president sent out that horrible tweet in which he said he's ending negotiations between Steve and Nancy, and immediately the purple power saw that tweet even before I saw it, and their understanding of the tweet was absolutely point on. They understood that the tweet was regarding negotiations, but not regarding executive orders. So the purple power, educated, informed, and up to date because of this channel, pushed the president. If you've never heard of the purple power, it's the followers of this channel who I brought together as one, both Republicans and Democrats, to understand that you are not being told how things are happening. You are not being told numbers. You are not being told what bills were. And I quickly and fastly got them informed about all the nuances. Nancy wasn't telling them what's in their bill. Nancy wasn't telling them what she's arguing for. Steve wasn't telling them what he was moving on numbers. And they were being told things like bills had passed in the House so that they had a law when they hadn't. So red plus blue is purple. Purple power immediately yesterday pushed the president for executive orders. Hours went on and hours went on. Thousands and thousands of tweets from the purple power. And the president reverted. He said, you know what, I want to do stimulus checks. I want to do something for the airlines. I want to do something for PPP. That's really good. But ultimately, it's not good enough. The purple power's focus still remains today with the president because he's trying deflection. The purple power is not stupid. We become educated, and we understand that when the president says, Nancy, go do this, he's talking to a block wall. Ultimately, he's been saying that for months, and ultimately Nancy's been saying no. So why repeat something that someone says no to yet again on the eve of the election. It's because it's political theater. And so what's important for you to understand as we start the new morning on a Wednesday morning, or now perhaps in the afternoon on the East Coast, is that you understand that the president may do this more. He may continue to send tweets and says, I want this for the American people. I love this for the American people. Well, go do it, sir. Go do executive order. The best news, the best categorical news that started the new morning was the numbers. The numbers of his tweet last night where he says, I've identified this amount of money from PPP and this amount of money for airlines that is sitting around in unused CARES Act 1 money. If you add the two numbers together, it comes to about $160 billion. The great news about that is he's confirming the reporting on this channel for 3 weeks. I have told you that the president has access to $500 billion at least of unused CARES Act 1 money in programs that have since expired. And that money is sitting there for him to use. Ultimately, he confirmed that this morning. There is a certain amount of money sitting there for stimulus checks, and now he's identified $160 billion more for other things. Well, that other thing should be your FPUC. The president needs to be told by the Purple Power, stimulus checks and FPUC, get them done and send them out right now. In fact, he doesn't have to even do an executive order for FPUC because he has an executive order on the books. Yes, I understand the $100 threshold is not good in there, but it's called LWA. All he has to do is repurpose the money into the agency that'll send it out. He doesn't even need Nancy. Why are you sending out a tweet talking about Nancy? Just repurpose the money into a fund like FEMA and send it out for another round of LWA. It'll carry the American people, certainly through the election, may carry them all the way to January. There's enough money there. There's also enough money for stimulus checks. And you don't have to be miserly with the stimulus checks, Mr. President. $1,200 for everyone. Why be cheap on your stimulus checks? You said you don't want to be cheap. You said that people need more generous checks. You said that it's not the fault of the American people. I love the American people. Well, if you love them, don't give them a $500 dependent check. Give them a $1,200 dependent check. They didn't get a dependent check in the first stimulus package. It wasn't their fault because they are dependents on someone else's tax return. It's a tax choice of how they declare their taxes. You would understand that, wouldn't that? Well, ultimately, they decided to do their taxes that way, and because they did their taxes that way, they got no check. That's not fair. They deserve a full check, $1,200. Dependents or on a non-dependents. Family. The family should be a family of 5. $6,000 for a family of 5. So a single mom of 4 kids, or a husband and wife of 3 children. Family of 5, $1,200, $6,000. Done. Very simple. Purple Powered's messages are very simple. We understand how things have to be done. We also understand the fake narrative. The fake narrative has been in the last 24 hours. Nancy saying the president, it's sad that he called off negotiations because he doesn't want to kill the virus. Okay, here's fake narrative on Nancy's side. What is giving salary raises to the Department of Justice have to do with killing the virus? What does giving a salary raise to the Department of Trademarks have anything to do with killing the virus? What does giving any of these salary raises in all these departments, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of salary raises to departments have nothing to do with testing, tracing, or anything COVID-19 related have to do with killing the virus? It's called a fake narrative. It's called a fake narrative, and Americans are really tired of the fake narrative from politicians. But you would think that the man who was elected based upon being an outsider, based upon draining the swamp, based upon working for the American people, would stop talking about stuff for big business. There's a big important thing as you start the new morning, and I want you to understand this, and people don't really explain it to you because there's 2 types of reporting. There's reporting that is partisan, and there's reporting that's business reporting. And the business reporting channels are talking about businesses. On Wall Street, they don't talk about mom and pop. They don't cover mom and pop businesses. They cover Wall Street, and they cover Target and Walmart and Amazon. Well, the reports overnight say that Walmart, Target, and Amazon are making fortunes on this pandemic and will continue to make fortunes on this pandemic and are in what's called a V-shaped recovery. Even simpler, they're saying that they don't need stimulus. So when the president says, I'm calling off stimulus chats, it means nothing for those companies because they're making a fortune. They don't need stimulus. It doesn't mean anything for the operators of that business or for the business itself. And so ultimately, when Wall Street looks at what the president says, and I'm calling off negotiations, the stock market may go down a little bit, but big business doesn't need stimulus. Stimulus is needed by you. Stimulus is needed by people who are not on a Wall Street. Mom and pops, single moms, people on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. And ultimately, very few people are getting out your message. I'm getting out your message. But when you turn to financial news channels, and I want you to make this understand this very well, when you turn to financial news channels, they're not going to cover you. They may try to cover an unemployment story. Oh, here's Jessica and she lost her job. And they'll do what's called a feature piece. But they're not covering the financials of you and your ability to survive. And that's what's important. And what's also important is that the president looks at Wall Street. He looks at Wall Street as the indicator of where America is. And this is what's wrong, especially for a president who is elected on this platform. By looking at Wall Street and seeing that Walmart is up today, or looking at Wall Street and looking at Amazon is up, that doesn't tell me anything about what's happening with the mom and pop hardware store owned by a husband and wife that's in Arkansas. It doesn't tell him anything. It doesn't tell me anything about the single individual college student who just graduated and is driving for Uber and Lyft that's losing everything. It doesn't tell us anything by looking at Wall Street. And ultimately, the president's doing that, and he needs to stop doing that. Your focus this morning is understanding that you're going to continue to see tweets from the president, you're going to continue to see messages from Nancy, you're going to continue to see messages from Steve Mnuchin, and you're going to continue to see analysts say, I think we need stimulus. And ultimately, we can do the narrative, oh, this is really good news, that, he came out and says he wants to do things. Oh, he came out and says he wants to do things. Oh, he came out and said he wants to do. He's been saying that for months. At one point, you have to say, come on already. This president has said things for months. It's time to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just say you don't want to do it. Yesterday he says, I don't want to do negotiations. Fine. At least you made a position. Then he backtracked 10 seconds later. Say, let's send out stimulus checks. Well, you've been saying that in June, in July, in August, and September, and you haven't done it. Purple power, do your thing. Do your thing. Executive orders, sir. Executive orders for stimulus check. Executive orders for hazard pay, executive orders for FPUC. Executive orders, do them now. If you don't want to do them, that's fine. Just make it clear you don't want to do it, and we're just not going to waste our tweeting our fingers anymore. But don't dangle carrots over us saying that you sort of think and maybe kind of want to do something. It's enough already. Now, let me turn to the reaction. The reaction is almost as bad as the situation. The reaction is that you're going to open up CNN. You're going to open up Fox Business. You're going to open up all these news channels. They're going to say, the title of the articles will be something like, the president has renewed hopes for negotiate stimulus further talks. And the president is calling for more of this. And the president's calling, no. See, that's what's going on is that broadcast news needs ratings. And so what they're doing is they're taking tweets of the president, which are not policy, that mean effectively nothing. Telling Nancy to do something she's already said she won't do is effectively nothing. And they're taking his tweets and making a whole news cycle about it, saying, hey, get ready, America. Stimulus is coming your way because he's changed his mind. Congratulations. And let's do the story for 16 hours. And then we'll have analysts on from Bank of America and Chase say, oh, you need stimulus. It's so important. Oh, we got a whole news cycle about this. Tomorrow it'll be like, okay, what happened? It's Groundhog Day every day with the broadcast channels. Let me answer some of your questions from yesterday. Dorothy, I think this is the stand-up between Pelosi and Trump. Zeus the God. My guess is we aren't getting anything. Russell, these are comments 17 hours ago before these tweets, any of these tweets. This is the best, and we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world. What a big joke. Sharon, we can't be asked too much is enough. Connie, American people are strong. How long can we stay strong with the empty promises? Rich, no law wearing the compensation of the services the senator shall take effect. Sharon, the government must invest in the people to ensure a great return. Justin, Trump just shot himself in the foot saying no stimulus after election. Okay, so that came in after the broadcast. Trump's decision to stop stimulus just made him lose his support for the election. Jay Walsh, I'm voting out everyone. This has become a joke, and the government continues to pull us along by a string. Vote the other way. That's seats for stimulus. We cannot stop seat for stimulus. If you've not given our stimulus, you're out. Every incumbent you see on the ballot, you skip them, you vote for the challenger. Seats for stimulus. Teresa, we need to find the smartest person on the earth and send him to the White House to straighten out these bird brains. Heck, the birds have more brains than these guys. Zeus the god again. These snakes have given billions to foreign countries and trillions of pointless wars, and they won't give a squat. I love that. We should all realize what we meant to them. Less than zero. Guess. The government still has more money with the states. They're holding the money from the people. When will the states return this money to the Fed? They have to in a couple of weeks. That's a great question. That's the use or lose that I cover on this channel every day. Then what happens when the money is returned in light of Trump not using executive orders? When the money's returned, it just sits and it goes nowhere. It's unrepurposed, if that's a word. Rick, this show should be called Countdown to Election or Countdown to Removal, either one. That's too many words. Thank you, Rick. Amanda, so Trump has been halting anything on stimulus until after the election, and now Wall Street's crashing, and then it went back up. Arkansas, I'm literally lost all faith in both parties. Trump stopped negotiations until after the election. Unbelievable. Kelly, so you can see these are the comments that came in after the tweet now. Kathy, so no stimulus after the election per Trump. Can't believe Democrats now. Okay, so he didn't say no stimulus after the election. He said, I'm not negotiating on stimulus until after the election. There's a difference there. Randy, I still think we need to vote out everybody. Well, you do. Ken, right now I'm voting for Kid Rock for president. Oh, please. 33 coups. The president said no stimulus bill until after the election. I'm done with both parties. He didn't say no stimulus bill. He said no negotiations on a stimulus bill. He can do executive orders. Power of the purple. Focus first. Executive orders. Make it very clear, and you have been making it very clear. Thousands of tweets per hour. Hashtag purple power, hashtag LALATE, hashtag seats for stimulus. Keep it up. The president's seeing this. The president is feeling the pressure. Keep it up. Broadcast news is seeing it as well. Thousands of tweets per hour. Next, seats for stimulus. Seats for stimulus. Hashtag seats for stimulus. Hashtag LALATE, hashtag purple power. Make it clear to these elected officials that they didn't give us stimulus, so you're gone. They're gone. Not you. They're gone. Finally, there was a very wonderful representative from the Arizona who in May tweeted a new bill that she introduced to the Senate that said if they don't give you stimulus, their salary should be withheld. I'm going to be retweeting that tweet, and I'm going to find that bill, and we're going to bring it back to center stage and make it very clear that if you're an elected official, then you should not have your salary because you didn't give us our money for stimulus. Coming up on Afternoons LA, more about this as well. I know there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. What I want you to feel is I want you to feel open, focused, informed, not misguided, not manipulated, not confused. I want you to stay focused and informed. Get on social media, get on Twitter. It's a wonderful family. Also, subscribe to this channel. Go to the front of this channel, subscribe. Subscribe because I'm here by the minute to help you. Also, like this video. Coming up Afternoons LA at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, a 2-hour programming block. Watch all those videos. As always, have a great morning. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay in LA for more.